A Senate bill introduced that would allow states to use BEAD non-deployment funds. The GAO finds that NTIA violated the Congressional Review Act. 5 more states received final proposal approval, and the FCC scheduled its first spectrum auction in more than 3 years. Those stories and more on This Week in the Broadband Universe. Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm Craig Corbin. Senators Roger Wicker of Mississippi and Shelley Moore Capito of West Virginia this week introduced a bill spelling out acceptable uses of non-deployment funds from the $43 billion Broadband Equity Access and Deployment Program. Roughly half of the total funds are expected to be left over in the wake of updates to the program made back in June. The Success for BEAD Act lists telecom workforce development programs, wholesale fiber, internet exchange points, and mobile wireless infrastructure among the acceptable uses. Not on the list, data center construction. The Government Accounting Office releasing findings this week that NTIA's updated BEAD rules from this past summer were in violation of the Congressional Review Act, which requires any agency rule to first be submitted to both houses of Congress and the Comptroller General for review before it can take effect. The GAO considered NTIA's updated BEAD program guidance a rule in that it both came from a federal agency in an official capacity and that the changes impacted future policy and procedure. On a related note, 5 more states receiving final proposal approval on BEAD spending plans: Utah, North Carolina, Minnesota, Massachusetts, and Idaho. That brings the total to 34 states and 3 territories getting the thumbs up. The first spectrum auction since 2022 will be conducted by the Federal Communications Commission beginning June 2nd, 2026. 200 licenses in the AWS-3 band will be on the block. Most were returned by EchoStar. Spectrum auctioning authority for the FCC lapsed back in March of 2023. A price-fixing lawsuit by DirecTV against Nexstar, Mission Broadcasting, and White Knight has been reinstated on appeal in the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. The retransmission dispute resulted in a blackout of 30 broadcast television stations on DirecTV back in October of 2022. That's a blackout that is still ongoing. The case was dismissed by a federal district court in March of last year. Fastest fixed wireless access provider, according to Ookla, it's T-Mobile, with a median download speed double that of AT&T. Speed test users from the 3 U.S. fixed wireless providers, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile, all experienced decreases in both median download and median upload speeds during Q2 and Q3 of this year. T-Mobile also coming out on top of another study, J.D. Power's 2025 U.S. Residential Internet Service Provider Study. Wireless internet providers in general have seen a 15% increase in new subscribers over the last 6 months. In the wired category, Verizon number 1 in the East for the 13th straight year. AT&T number 1 in both the North Central and West regions. G-Fiber, formerly Google Fiber, tops in the South region for the 3rd straight year. And finally, if you are a fan of the Academy Awards, the show will have a new home in a couple of years. YouTube has won exclusive global rights to stream the Oscars beginning in 2029. A multi-year deal was signed this week with the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Beginning with the 101st Oscars ceremony, the show will be available live and free to more than 2 billion viewers around the world on YouTube and to YouTube TV subscribers here in the United States. Well, thanks for watching. Here's hoping you and yours have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll see you in 2026 on This Week in the Broadband Universe.